We tend to always put the spotlight on the good guys and heroes in entertainment, but we fail to realize they wouldn't be shit without the villains. It would just be a bunch of grown men in costumes with powers doing dumb shit. We do not need an IRL A-train. And the villains I'm referring to today are villains in cartoons. Now we have seen some great villains in cartoons, but sadly, the shitty ones outweigh them. And I personally got beef with some of them, dating all the way back to when I was a child. And one of the first villains I have to expose for doing completely terrible, I mean shit at their job, is Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Now I knew Dr. Doofenshmirtz was fugazi when bro had to make a whole company just to advertise how evil he was. And the only reason he's an evil scientist is because bro couldn't sell bratwurst. Bro thought he was gonna be able to outsell the almighty Glick. And imagine studying endless hours just to get to the title of being a doctor, finally accomplishing your dream, when he only got that shit for $15. The only time Dr. Doofenshmirtz was successful is when he built a big ass machine, put a random word, then innator at the end of it just to not be able to use it for his own purposes, which was just take over the whole tri-state area. Only because that's when his biggest op, Perry the Platypus, would just barge in and put an end to that shit. And somehow, some way, the weak invention that was just built would just save Phineas and Ferb from getting snitched on. This nigga more of a hero than a villain. Sadly, what led Dr. Doofenshmirtz to be this malicious was his own parents. They treated him like shit. Didn't even show to his own day of birth. I don't even know how the hell that's possible. And the only friend he really had was a balloon. And even he got sick of his presence. Perry being Dr. Doofenshmirtz's biggest op is just an understatement, cause every time they link, it's a damn play date. Dr. Doofenshmirtz was so lonely in life at one point, he celebrated just for having somebody to beef with. Usually only crash outs do this shit. The only harm Doof could do to anybody is himself, with these wonky ass 100 ticket price tag ass machines. To be honest, now that I'm a little older, I'm starting to wonder, Perry might have been new to the force, or just an overrated ass agent. Because at what status in your career do you have to be at to be assigned to a weak ass villain like Dr. Doofenshmirtz? And I for sure did think his daughter was bad when I was younger. Now as a kid, you're already limited to making your own decisions and having to deal with the worst thing in humanity for 5 days out the week and 180 days a year. I'm talking about school. And the biggest enemies in school are who? Teachers. And there is no person that gives teachers a better reputation than Mr. Crocker. Thing is, Mr. Crocker not even the worst villain in the show. He just pissed me off the most. He a grown ass man who can't stop obsessing over fairies, and this weird obsession he has for fairies causes him to be shit at his job. Like, I would somewhat understand if he was only on Timmy ass because he suspects that he has fairy godparents, but no, he just chooses to raise hell for all his students. He does random pop quizzes just so these niggas can fail. And I'm not gonna lie, that's real. I can respect it. That's some true hater shit. He even give out F's in style. Bro got a whole mixtape just for giving bad grades. And if you don't already know, Mr. Crocker was the exact same kid as Timmy. His ending was just way worse. The only memory he has from the past is him reminding himself that fairy godparents are real. That's mainly the reason why bro get to tweaking and geeking every 5 seconds if he even smell a fairy. I thought Mr. Crocker just wanted to prove fairies were real just so he could stop looking like a damn schizo. But no, bro wanted to take over the whole damn world. I kinda see a comparison in Dr. Doof and Mr. Crocker. Both were badly neglected as children, lonely as hell, so they only obsessed to cause damage with their wild ass adventures and wild ass fantasies. And both were terrible at their job. Mr. Crocker even got pedo allegations. I'm not gonna say that's a plus, but I'm not gonna say I'm shocked either. Bro only give good grades to AJ. Next, we got one of the best TV show hosts of all time. This TV show host caused more trauma to teenagers than Maury did to black people. Chris Mclean. Everyone should already know that Chris is evil and sadistic as hell. One thing I can say about Chris, unlike the others, bro is kinda good at his job. Every time a new episode started and I heard
last time on Total Drama Island,
I stood up quick as hell ready like I was watching the flight video. And signing up for a waiver do not exist in this demonic ass show. I want to feel bad for the contestants, but sometimes I gotta realize they put themselves themselves in this situation. Unlike the interns, some of them actually do go home safe, except for Ezekiel. This nigga was down bad the whole damn series. And Chris didn't believe in easing them into the challenges. They started off with being forced to dive off a 1,000-foot cliff into shark-infested waters. And Chris wasn't even for sure if the safe zone was completely shark-free, because every intern he had already hired was either dead or fighting for their life in the hospital. Season 1 do have some other crazy challenges that should have ended the lives of almost every contestant, like the time Cody was mauled by a bear in the paintball deer challenge, or a psycho chainsaw killer with a hook was actually on the island. If he shouldn't murder anybody, it should have been Heather. This is actually the only time I've seen Chris show sympathy for a contestant, by the way. The trauma that really happens in the later seasons. I'm talking about lava burns, more interns dying, animals getting attacked, people getting pushed off of planes. It's more crimes that Chris committed, but I would be here all day if I just listed all of them. You would think all these damages caused to interns and contestants will finally put him in jail. Nope. Bro didn't even get charged for it. It took Chris performing a series of challenges to teens in toxic waste just for him to go to jail. See, unlike Mr. Crocker, Chris don't hate teenagers. He would have made serious sentences do this shit. As long as the ratings were good and he got paid, he was good.
If any of you guys ever get to Sunnyside Daycare, you tell him Woody made it home.
You came from Sunnyside?
Now I won't lie to y'all, but this next one used to strike fear into me as a kid. Lotso was a demon. It really wasn't that bad at his job. He just slipped up. Lotso became a crash out in the dumbest way. His owner Daisy accidentally lost him at the park, like what most dumbass kids do, and ended up swapping him out for a new one. Basically, she cheated on this nigga with his twin brother. This led Lotso to becoming a menace. He put up to Sunnyside and took that hoe over. Bruh even had the backup of this big ass baby and this scary ass monkey. That heartbreak did Lotso so bad, he made life a living hell for any new toy that came to Sunnyside. Bro would segregate the toys into 2 separate rooms. One for the toddlers. They was even putting straight painting on my nigga Mr. Potato Head. It made Buzz a crackhead astronaut again. Then the Spanish one. He ended up cooking though, I ain't gonna lie. Where Lotso messed up at was being outsmarted and dumping his trauma on all the other toys, leading them to backdoor this nigga. Not for this last one, even though he might be the most unsuccessful, the lamest, can't get no bitches, he's still part of one of the greatest cartoon shows of all time. Plankton. Mr. Krabs and Plankton are the prime example of why you should never do business with your best friend. All Plankton really want is just to be respected and liked. The main reason he wanted to steal the Krabby Patty formula so bad cause he know for damn well nobody is eating chum. I just found out that chum is made of the parts of fish in their blood. This nigga was trying to sell his customers to themselves.
Here we go again.
Now Plankton always tried to hit the Krusty Krab with schemes that always failed. Like the time he tried to be a ketchup bottle, the time he tried the Robo Patty, the time he made Mr. Krabs' greedy ass chase a penny just to be a robot version of him and still fail to self-destruction. The only time Plankton had some true power was in that damn movie. And when he got that power, I'm not gonna lie, he had me shook. Bruh stole King Neptune's crown, blamed it on Mr. Krabs, and then brainwashed the whole Bikini Bottom. And still ended up failing. All while having the shittiest PC of all time as his wife. Whoop, I hope you enjoyed the vid. Let me know if there's any characters that I missed out on. Subscribe and hit that bell if you are new. I'm Zero Stressin, aka S for our Stressin. Stay blessed, never stress. S for our for oil, time put the rest, and I'll see y'all later.
I've been living fast, it's been spoiling me. I'm bringing my meds on the tour with me. I've been living fast, it's been spoiling